Hello, everyone, and welcome. First off, a huge shout out to the team at ProTax Accountant for putting together this really important discussion. Now, if you're a UK business owner or company director, you're going to want to stick around for this. We've got a lot to get through, so let's dive straight in. All right, so today we are tackling a big one, the brand new Companies House identity verification rules. And trust me, this isn't just some minor update. It's a massive reform that's going to affect millions of companies right across the UK. The big date to circle on your calendar, November 18th, 2025. That's when the clock officially starts ticking. So let's get into what this is all about. So let me ask you something. What if a complete stranger, a fraudster, could just register themselves as a director of your company without you even knowing? I mean, it sounds like something out of a movie, right? A corporate thriller. But believe it or not, for years, the system has left a door wide open, making this a terrifyingly real risk for business owners just like you. Well, that exact risk is precisely why everything is about to change. We're talking about one of the biggest shakeups at Companies House in years. This whole thing is designed to slam that door shut, rebuild trust in the system, and make it a whole lot harder for criminals to operate in the shadows. Okay, so to really get why this is happening now, we need to take a step back and look at the problem itself. Let's dig into that crack in the system that made these new rules so absolutely necessary. And this really hits the nail on the head. For the longest time, there just wasn't a solid way to check if someone was who they said they were. The system was basically wide open. Criminals loved this loophole. They could create these ghost companies to launder money, or worse, appoint fake directors to real, legitimate companies without anyone knowing. It was a system that ran on trust, and frankly, that trust was getting shattered. And the scale of this fix, it's huge. We are talking about 6 to 7 million people who are now going to have to verify their identity. Just think about that number. That's pretty much every single company director and every person with significant control. You'll hear them called PSCs in the whole of the UK. So the big question is, how exactly is Companies House plugging this gap? Well, that brings us right into our next section, the new verification mandate. Let's break down what this is actually going to mean for you and your business. Okay, here's the bottom line. Identity verification, or IDV, is now the law. It's not optional. It's no longer good enough to just fill out a form and say who you are. From now on, you're going to have to digitally prove it. Big difference. Now, these are the dates you absolutely need to know. You can actually start verifying voluntarily right now, which honestly is a fantastic idea to get ahead of the rush. But the really big day is November 18th, 2025. That's when it becomes mandatory. Then there's a 1-year transition period for everyone who's already a director or PSC, which wraps up in November 2026. So the clock is ticking. So you're probably asking, when do I have to do this? And that's a great question, because there isn't one single deadline for everybody. Instead, your deadline is triggered by something else. So for any new directors, it happens right when you're appointed. For all of you existing directors, it's tied to your company's next confirmation statement. The main thing to get your head around is that your personal deadline is on its way, and it's linked directly to your company's own reporting schedule. And here's what you get for all this. Once you're successfully verified, you'll be given a unique 11-digit personal code. Now, this is super important. This code belongs to you as an individual, not to your company. The best way to think of it, it's like your new digital identity passport for everything you do with Companies House. Okay, let's get down to the practical stuff. How do you actually go about doing this? And don't worry, they've really tried to make the whole process as painless and straightforward as possible. Before you even start, it's a good idea to get your ducks in a row. You're going to need a few things handy. A valid photo ID, like a passport or driving license, your smartphone, of course, your current address and where you've lived for the last 12 months, and a secure email address you can access. Having this stuff ready will make the whole thing a breeze. So you've basically got 2 ways to get this done. Route A is the DIY option. You verify directly yourself. It's totally free, and for most people, it only takes a few minutes. Route B is to use an authorized agent, like your accountant. This can be a brilliant choice, especially if your situation is a bit more complicated, or maybe if you're a director who's based overseas. Now, if you decide to go the direct route, your first stop is the gov.uk ID Check app. It's a free download, works on both Apple and Android phones, and it's really well designed to just walk you through everything step by step. Super simple. And here's what that process looks like. It's really just a few simple steps. First, you'll set up what's called a gov.uk One Login account. Then you open up that ID check app we just mentioned. The app will ask you to scan your photo ID with your phone's camera and then do a quick facial scan, like unlocking your phone. After that, you just confirm a few personal details and bam, you're done. Seriously, the whole thing is usually over in a matter of minutes. And this is the moment of victory. You'll see this screen that says Identity Verification Complete. And right there on the screen will be your unique personal code. My advice, take a screenshot, write it down, do whatever you need to do, but store it somewhere really, really safe. You need to treat this code with the same level of care as you would a bank password. Okay, so we've covered the why this is happening and the how to get it done. Now let's wrap things up with probably the most important part, the consequences. What happens if you don't do this? And what are the absolute key takeaways you need to remember? So what happens if you just don't verify on time? Let me be blunt. Ignoring this is simply not an option. This isn't just another bit of admin or paperwork. We're talking about serious legal and business consequences if you fail to act. Let's be crystal clear about the risks here. If you don't verify on time, you are committing a criminal offense. Full stop. On top of that, your company's filings will be completely blocked. You won't be able to be appointed as a director anywhere, and you're looking at the real risk of hefty fines or even being disqualified. Honestly, the risks are they're not worth taking. Okay, so here's your action plan. Nice and simple. Number 1, start early. Get this done now, way before that November 2025 deadline. 2, remember, you only have to verify your actual identity once. But, and this is a big but, you must then link that one personal code to every single role you hold, whether that's a directorship or a PSC role. And finally, number 3, keep that code safe. Guard it. So at the end of the day, this is the big question for every single business leader in the UK. This whole change isn't just another hoop to jump through. It's a fundamental step towards a much more transparent and secure business world for all of us. The only question left is your company ready to be a part of that? Now, I get it. This might still feel a bit daunting. So if you'd rather not have to deal with this all by yourself, or if you just want an expert to make sure it's all done right, the team over at Pro Tax Accountant is standing by, ready to help guide you through the whole thing. It's really easy to get in touch with them. You can reach them on WhatsApp or give them a call on 07985 689 912. Let me repeat that for you. That's 07985 689 912. Or you can just shoot them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I wish you the best of luck getting your business ready for these new changes.